in the discourse that happens automatically between people who exfoliate and people who build bridges, there aren't enough repercussions that can originate the kind of frothing ambivalence that I've been very fond of. Anyway, turgidness, well, can be exhumed from sanitary napkins, but if it doesn't reciprocate, then anybody who likes goldfish can't consume enough dirigible-like emphases from the various cornucopias that their resilience is attached to. So, one time, perhaps as a personal anecdote, there was a time that I was in Tortuga and I found a gentle little calliope player. And when the terms of our distinguishment were created in an alabaster colophon, it's a word I've read but not heard said. Anyway, there was a trial of kind of back-scratching implements, and one of us had to be the more sinister diaspora, and it wasn't going to be me. So I think probably most people have had an experience like that. And the thing is, are you going to take it with integrity, or is it going to become something that when you whistle through a piccolo, you try to transfer to your aunt? Or you try to encircle and you try to despair. And we have to grapple with despair at every one of the forks in our internecine stimulation robust kind of principles. The principles that internecine stimulation kind of embarks for us, they won't be reciprocated the way that we want them to, and reciprocation is the key to emolument. And without emolument, you can't have gratitude and you can't have turpentine. And the turpentine of gratitude is the thing that anyone has offense to commit. Not offense like offensiveness to commit, but a fence to commit. The reason people have fences is they want to do something inside of them, and it has to be contained. Also there's a matter of keeping the other out, but what's ignored is that keeping the self in is what creates a kind of regal aristocracy of self. And those are the purposes of fences, whether they have a kind of forward crody or they don't. The white paint that gets spread between, I don't want to, okay, I'm going to refrain from being too explicit. I guess you could say there is a steeple, and you could say there is a formula written by a dissenting madman. And between these two, we would compare filters and we would compare gefilte fish. And one of us would come up wanting. So I guess I should complete the anecdote, because it beyond the matter of reciprocation, beyond the matter where doornails and thumb knobs are fronted in gesticulating befriendment. I can't whistle more than a negligible engagement to despair. And so we return to the negligees that despair can wear. And they're seductive. you know, they're kind of see-through, and they have a little peekaboo, little peekaboo with the negligees of despair. Were we weasels, you know, that could be surreptitiously ensnared in that kind of defingerment? I wasn't. Anyway, back to the conclusion of, you know, this whole infandiglio was that I purposefully intermixed a gondola and a frontispiece. And if I'm going to reference Robespierre, I might as well diarticulate the thumb screws. And I might as well befriend the kind of little infantries that are inside the restitution that I have petitioned for ever since my middle finger went corrupt. And that's my story to tell. Anyway, are we entranced enough in our diarticulations? Are we a plate set? Are we a statue that hasn't got a mist around it? When we contemplate these kind of ranch-flavored councilmen, we have to incite the regret. And is regret fondling despair? Is regret inappropriately collecting the fingernails and the skin shavings that some centennial recuperation would obey? You gotta ask the police. Or if you're not gonna ask the police, then you must burnish your freedom alone. Comments welcome.